Hey, hello, how you doing, everybody? Just melocchi technique with all of you. Today I wanted to address a very controversial issue, and it's the falsetto. Now, as we know, or some of you might know, the voice of a man is divided in what we call chest voice, which doesn't resonate with the chest at all, but it's a more pharyngeal, laryngeal voice. Then we have the head voice, which resonates higher up in the cranium sort of areas. And then we have what we call the falsetto. Now, Garcia, who, if you don't know, is the father of the modern vocal technique, actually interpolated falsetto in between chest and head voice. But nowadays we make the falsetto the last one. Okay. So what is falsetto? Well, falsetto, from a scientific point of view, and there are several theories. Okay, don't get me wrong here, but at least the one I tend to manage is that we have two pairs of vocal folds. We have what we would say the real vocal folds, or the legit vocal folds, and then we have what we call the fake or false vocal folds. Now, in order to produce a legit voice, we must use those legit vocal folds and then retract the fake ones or false in order to make a legit sound. In the chest voice would be something like that. La. Okay, and that I'm retracting my folds, vocal folds, and then I'm producing the sound. Chest voice. It's not chest, it's just pharyngeal or laryngeal, okay? Lower mid. Now, here comes the mystery. What is head voice and what is falsetto? I like to show this with, for example, a G, because we talk about the passaggio or the bridge or whatever you want to call it. If I go like this, la, many of you might think that this is a falsetto, but in reality it's not falsetto. Why? Because I can go la, and I'm mixing it. The minute I can mix it and I can grow it, it's not falsetto anymore. It's not, what am I going to change the retracted ones and then, up and down? No, it doesn't work like that. That's my view, okay? My humble view. So, why and how are we going to use this? How are we going to apply to either, the operatic repertoire, musical theater repertoire, pop, rock, and all that stuff? Well, the falsetto actually, as its name states, imitates a false, fake voice that imitates the female voice. So, if we start, from C, la, it's not going to be too strong. That's why we use a legit sound. But once we get here to a D, la, that starts to have a bit of meat. We go here, la, and that amplified with a microphone sounds like you're singing a huge note, okay? And that's all. So rock and roll artists, they use these all the time, the whole time. They use these falsetto, and then they add, colors to it, some of which opera singers are not used to. Now, in terms of opera theater, the musical theater, we have a passage in Gethsemane, in Jesus Christ Superstar, that is supposed to be extremely hard. What we're doing is we're doing an octave, depending if you transpose the piece or not. Usually people go to up to an E flat, and basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a reinforced falsetto, putting my body behind it, and it sounds something like that. Why? See, I'm reinforcing that sound with a microphone. Why I'm saying that it's a reinforced falsetto, because if I just left it like la, it wouldn't have that power. So that's why I add my body. I put my body behind it. La. And then I make this sound that everybody is like, wow, man, I mean, what is that? Well, that's the technique. That's how we apply a falsetto to several things. In the operatic repertoire, we can use it to make a diminuendo all the way to a pianissimo. For example.